Hi, welcome back to Cotton Creation. So today I am bringing you a super easy Dollar Tree DIY, and it is a really beautiful wedding stand. So I found these small square canvases at the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to open those up. These are going to work perfectly. I already had some square wooden dowels at home, so I didn't need to buy any of those. In the inspiration photo, they used the round dowels, and you can use those too. I just opted for the square ones since I already had those. And so what I'm doing is just going to cut them in half, and you can use a hand saw for this, or you can use an electric saw. Either one will work. Mine did have a little bit of a rugged edge, so I took a pair of scissors to cut that extra piece of wood off, and then I'm going to take some sandpaper and just sand down that side that was cut on both ends, just because I don't want any splinters and I want it to be nice and smooth. So then you're going to repeat these same steps with your second dowel so that you have four pieces in total. Next, we're just going to measure out and mark where all the dowels should go in the bottoms canvas. So what I'm doing is I'm using a pencil just to mark the first one, and then I'm going to use a ruler to measure how far away that first one was from each edge. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and take the dial and trace it on the inside, just so that all of them are even as far as the distance away from each edge. And this is what it should look like. I don't know if you guys can see that so well. And then I'm going to be using a drill. Now the drill bits that I'm using, they are round, so you kind of gotta go about it and try to go in a square as much as you can. If not, you may be able to use like a sharp box cutter to cut the square out. But yeah, whatever you have that can cut through some canvas material, definitely use that. Now I did switch to a smaller drill head after using the big one. For this second square, I tried to go from each corner of the square to see if that helped, and it did a little bit. Some of them I cut too much, and so the squares are a little bit too big. This particular one fits very well. It's nice and snug, but you'll see in a second, some of the squares are a little bit big, so I'm going to show you a trick or a hack for what I did when I had them too big. So like this one right here, you can see it's definitely not snug. You can see all around the dowel. So here's what I'm going to do. I have some cardstock paper. You could use a piece of cardboard. You could use a piece of a box like that you get stuff from Amazon or wherever from cardboard box. And so what you want to do is you probably could also use a paper bag, a thick paper bag as well. But nonetheless, we're just going to cut out a square, and then we're going to fold it in half, and then just cut two slits, and then that square off. And so what I'm doing is seeing, one, does the square fit around the dial? It does, but it doesn't fit in that corner. So what I'm doing, what I did is I trimmed some of it off, and now it fits perfectly. So from here, what I'm going to do is take some hot glue and just glue it onto the cardstock paper. And then I'm going to slide that dowel back in and until the cardstock paper meets the canvas, and I'm going to hold it in place until it dries. But before it dries all the way, you want to flip it over to the side, right side up, just to make sure that that dial is meeting the ground, making sure it's leveled. So once it is leveled and you're good to go, you're going to go ahead and take some more hot glue and seal that dowel in place on the top side. And you want to hold it in place to make sure that it is leveled and straight. And then once that's done, you're simply just going to do like you did all the rest of them and place a big glob of hot glue all around it, so that it makes it more stable and it holds in place. Now, I have pretty small fingers, but even for my fingers, these edges are a little close. So what I use is a popsicle stick, to make sure that the glue is where I want it to be. So all you have to do is take the popsicle stick and push the glue up against the wooden dowel to make sure that it is where you want it to be. So I'm just going to show you again real quickly. So again, I'm taking some cardstock paper, putting it on one end of the dial, putting some hot glue on the cardstock paper. Then I'm going to slide it through the canvas until the cardstock paper meets the canvas. And I'm going to hold it in place to make sure that the glue dries. And once it's dry, then we'll go ahead and seal the top with some hot glue. And then we'll again flip it over and put a huge glob of hot glue to make sure that it's nice and secure. And you want to make sure that you wait until that glue is dry. And when you're doing large globs of hot glue, it usually takes a longer time to dry, probably like 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. So just make sure that it's completely dry before moving it around. And next, we're going to put the top on. So the easiest way I found to do it is to lay that second canvas down and then flip the dials on top of it. And then you can go ahead and mark where you want to glue those at. And then once they're marked, just put a dab of hot glue on each of those squares that you traced. And then from there, we're just going to line it all up and secure those dowels in those spots that we already traced, and making sure that it is nice and secure. So you want to hold it in place until the glue dries. And once that glue is dry, you're able to flip it over, and they should be stable and not going anywhere. For some added security, I'm just going in and adding a few globs of the hot glue just around some of the dials so that they are nice and secure and in place. So you could also do this step. Next, we need to go ahead and take this baby outside and go ahead and spray paint it. I'm showing you two options of spray paint that you can use. I ended up using the second one that I show you on this particular project, but you could use either one. So you want to go ahead and give this at least 2 coats of spray paint, or 3. I think I did 2 and it was fine. And you definitely want to wait like a minute or two in between the coats. So I'm doing the first coat, and I'll wait like a minute, minute and a half, and then I'll go back in with the second coat. So I let this dry for a full 24 hours, and this is what it looks like now that it's all dry. You can also use a paint primer if you wanted to. I'm just doing this for the video, so if I was doing this for a client, I definitely would prime everything first and then spray paint it, but you don't have to. And I love how the dials on here, it looks like it's welded. And so I actually like the way that that looks. But let's go ahead and get this thing decorated. So I'm going to show you a few options in this video. And after the fact, I came up with a few other ideas. So I may do a part 2 and show you guys what it looks like with a few other decorative things. So before we even go to adding the acrylic garland on it, you could always add flowers to the top and the bottom. You could also do a floating candle, which I realized I was out of floating candles, and I thought that these submergible LED tea lights were were able to float, but they don't. So I couldn't even show you the floating candle option. But I did have a white candle in the house, so I just used that to show you a candle option that you could do. And I'm just putting some florals around it. Now, if I was doing this for an event, I would totally use floral foam all around the candle, and sit the candle in the center of the floral foam, and then stick the flowers all around using the floral foam. But like I said, I'm just doing this for y'all, so I'm not going to put in all that type of work, but definitely use floral foam for your florals. And now it's time to go ahead and add these acrylic gems. Now what I'm doing is lining them up so that I can get the spacing even. And in this video, I'm actually taping mine because I'm going to reuse these garlands for another project. But like I said, if I was doing this for an event, I would totally hot glue these on or use some E6000 and hot glue just to make sure they're nice and secure. But for the purposes of just demonstration and instruction, I'm just going to use some tape and tape these up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So once you have all your acrylic garlands adhered to your stand, you can go ahead and stand this up and go ahead and finish decorating it with florals or lights or candles or what have you. And this is the finished product. It was getting late here, and so I only put the garland on the front and the back. But in the upcoming shot, I did go back and add them to the sides. So I'll show you what it looks like with it on the sides. It came out so great and beautiful. And actually it came out very close to the inspiration photo, but of course for a fraction of the price. So if you go to their website, you'll see it's $464. Baby, that's not what we paid for this. All right, so let me know what you guys think of this DIY project down in the comment section down below. It's super easy, it's very beautiful and elegant, and it's versatile. I showed you a few options. I may keep it around and do a few more other things with it for you guys. But yeah, I'm really loving the results, how it turned out. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you like this video, you know what to do. Give your girl a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn the bell on so you know when I post. Thanks for watching.